Welcome to the Alpha Pickleball Podcast, where we slice through the noise to bring you the juiciest insights, strategies, and stories from the dynamic world of pickleball. Join us as we serve up engaging conversations with top players, coaches, and enthusiasts, giving you an ace perspective on all things pickleball. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just stepping onto the court, get ready for a volley of knowledge that'll elevate your game to alpha levels. Let the rallies begin.
Welcome again to the show. I'm your host, Tats, and I'm very excited to have Kim Layton on the show today. So Kim, thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so when I look at your background, it says multi-sports, Ironman, you sound pretty hardcore.
Yeah, hardcore might be a good word, I guess.
Well, walk me through some of the things you've done in the past.
Sure. Growing up, like in school, I played every sport I could. Basketball, volleyball, badminton, track and field. I just loved all sports. And then after high school, I started getting involved in triathlon and actually competed with my husband. We raced in different lengths of triathlon. So we started with like a sprint, which is a shorter one, and then kept wanting to do longer ones up to the full Ironman distance. And then my dad around that time was starting pickleball and was talking about it, and I decided to give it a try to spend time with him. So once I got into pickleball, I kind of set aside the other things I was doing. I was doing some adult, like women's volleyball, basketball leagues, but I set those aside because pickleball was just too much fun.
That's awesome. Let's go back to your triathlon, because I remember I ran marathons for fun, just really slowly. And then I took a quick look at triathlon, and I just looked at the fact that you had to be good at so many sports in the scheduling, and it scared me away. What was your schedule like? Like, how did you sort of fit it all in?
Yeah, that's a good question. And at different stages, I spent a different amount of time with the training. When I was doing the full Ironman, my husband and we had a coach out of Germany that actually wrote up a training program. And on the slower weeks, I think it was like 12 to 15 hours a week. And on the heavy weeks, it was up to like 25 hours, 25, maybe even 30. So he would kind of cycle through like 2 weeks of intensive training, 1 week of scaling it back a little bit, and then building up to the race, peaking, I think 6 weeks out, and then tapering off. So it was a very like planned out program, and it was a lot of time. It was a lot of coordinating because we have kids. So Adam and I would just kind of sit down at the beginning of the week and say, okay, what do we got for training? Where do we fit this in? When are you watching kids? When am I watching kids? And like on a Saturday, we'd often do like a 7-hour bike ride each. So one of us would start early, and this was indoor training too, because it was not always good weather. So we'd have to sit on a bike on a stand and bike for 7 hours. So it was kind of nuts. And you just like watch a couple of movies on a laptop while you pass time. And one of us would just start early, and then the other one would start when they were done. And it would take up a lot of the day, as you can imagine. So yeah, it was a cool stage of life and a pretty big commitment.
Yeah, I mean, when you're putting in that much work, I mean, what did you do to not get injured, recover? Like, what were you thinking about?
Yeah, trying to be really on top of like sleep and nutrition was pretty huge. And with nutrition, it was honestly like trying to eat healthy, but also just get enough calories because you're burning insane amounts of calories. So it was trying to eat enough calories. And so like while I would do those 7-hour rides or whatever, I would have a bunch of food next to me and be eating while I trained. And then definitely seeing like massage therapists, chiropractor, physiotherapists, like a lot more than I would at other stages of life, because any kind of little injury that might creep in, I need to get on top of it right away so it didn't get worse.
Yeah. And so
So
this
yeah,
sounds like it's proactive, right? Like instead of like
yeah,
before a problem showed up.
yeah, trying to be really preventative because any bigger injury, you just have to stop training and then not be able to race. So trying to catch things before they got bad and get ahead of it or try to prevent anything from creeping in. And with that extra load on the body, like our bodies needed a lot of extra care. So we had some really good practitioners that helped us stay healthy.
Yeah. Well, you've been exposed to, high level coaching, sounds like you have very, very good habits in terms of training and, nutrition and all that. I mean, how did that come into play in your pickleball development?
Yeah, good question. I do feel like I think about kind of training and off season and cycling through when to kind of try to peak training and tapering off and those kind of things, maybe more than other pickleball players do. And I'm still trying to figure it out because I don't know anyone like I don't know anyone personally that has like a clear program like that. So I'm trying to play around with what works for me. And I think over time, maybe there'll be more clarity for athletes trying to compete at a high level in pickleball on how to cycle their training based on when events are and when the off season is and all that. So I'm trying to apply some of the things I learned from triathlon, but it's definitely like a work in progress for me trying to figure it out.
Yeah. And what are some of the things that work for you to date?
Um, I would say I notice a huge difference in how I perform when I go into an event well rested. And so I tend to like err on the side of overtraining sometimes. 'Cause I love it and I tend to like to push myself. And so I've noticed when I train too much before an event, I'm just not at my best. And so making myself take those rest days and taper off leading up to tournaments has made a big difference for me. Like rather than pushing the drill sessions or workouts, I'll do yoga for a couple days leading up or just do a short session a couple days before and take the day off before. Um, that's made a big difference. And then I think applying the things I've learned with nutrition. So I'm always packing lots of food to tournaments. Like I have snacks on hand, staying nourished, keeping my energy up, and I'm really good with hydration. So I always, whether it's a tournament or just training, I'm always staying up on drinking lots of water. Um, and sleep, I could do better at. I sometimes stay up too late, but I think like trying to get enough sleep, I've noticed that makes a big difference too. So that's an area I could improve at.
Yeah. How about the technical aspects of, hitting a ball and pickleball and stuff? Did you get a lot of help there or did you figure it out yourself?
I try to seek out help. So people around me that have skills in different areas, I'll ask lots of questions. Lately I've tried to study video a little bit, so I'll take video of myself hitting shots and then look at it at home and then kind of compare it to pros at the highest level and see how they're hitting those shots. So I'm not like naturally a technical person with things, but with pickleball, I found you kind of have to be to get better at things. And I don't have like a strong racket sport background. I've played some badminton in high school, but um, I don't have like all those racket skills that give me the natural shot technique. So I'm kind of going learning from scratch on some of the shots and just trying to fine tune things using video, getting tips from other people. I've never had like one specific coach, but I've definitely had help from a few people um, like over the years that have helped with various shots. So super grateful to them for kind of mentoring me along.
Yeah, absolutely. And, for you, what parts of the game came easy? Which were more sort of hard-earned areas?
Huh. I would say in the beginning, I found like fast hand battles. I love them and my reflexes were good. So that that came easy for me and is still probably my favorite part. Um, learning how to just drive a ball from the baseline honestly was hard because like topspin was a foreign concept for my brain and my body. So figuring that out it's still honestly a work in progress. And I've come a long way with that. So I would say, yeah, hand speed was natural. What else? Defense, like when people would attack me, whether I was at the kitchen line or back at the baseline. I just really loved like digging up balls and keep getting them back. I've gotten better at countering those balls harder. And let's see, like I I would say like a lot of the baseline shots took more time for me to fine tune, and stuff at the kitchen line I've been stronger at.
Yeah. How do you approach like drilling and playing, like, the balance between the two? And how does that fit into your improvement program?
Sorry, what do you mean? Like, how do I approach drilling?
Well, how much drilling do you do? How much playing do you do? Do you
Oh,
have
I
sort of a
see. Yeah.
philosophy around how much you should do of each, like a percentage?
Yeah, good question. Um, I would say like I try to drill more now in the off season because I'm looking at this as a chance to really um, like improve my technique and develop new shots. So I feel like I need the reps of those shots to get better at them. So right now it's probably like 80% drill, 20% play. And then when I'm closer to tournaments, I do like to play more. So I do like to just try to kind of put it all together on the court. And and then it becomes more like shot selection, court coverage and court awareness and looking for different patterns. So yeah, close to tournament time, I'm okay if I'm drilling less. So I kind of take it stage by stage.
Absolutely. What has been your memorable highlights to date, your accomplishments, things you're proud of?
Huh. I would say I was really proud of nationals this past year. I was able to get 3 gold and 2 bronze medals. That was a big highlight. Um, I I would say also just like our Alberta provincials. I like the local feeling of them, and so it's fun to compete against and be around just lots of people that I know, and been able to win the past few years in mixed and in women's. And yeah, those would probably be like the year before in Kingston. Nationals was a highlight as well. So and provincials. And I'm really looking forward to these pro leagues that are starting in Canada. So that's something new that I think will bring some more good memories and good experiences and really good challenges um, going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking about leagues and tournaments, you play with different partners. When you look for a partner, whether it's in mixed or gender doubles, what do you look for? What's important to you?
Oh, um, I guess first off, I'm looking for someone that's a similar skill level. If they're better than me, that's even better. And then personality, just people that I get along with. And I've been really lucky in both to have amazing partners. Like I'm super grateful. I've played with Brad Chapman for a lot of years in mixed, and he's a really good friend, phenomenal player. And then like Hado Thule, I've played some in mixed, and then played with a lot of different women. Casey Rogers, Christina Chin, other ladies, Pam Clark, just a lot of really great people. Brittany Brown too at last provincials. So um, yeah, I've just been really fortunate, I would say, with partners to have people that are both like, I don't know, just kind, encouraging, positive, fun, and then also strong players.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you shared a lot of things you've learned over the years, and advice. Is there anything that I have not asked you, but you wanted to share?
Um, I don't know, there's so many pickleball ways that people approach pickleball, I would say, and so, like, for some people, they've found they don't even really like tournaments, and I think that's okay. I think other people are really driven by the competitive side and love kinda challenging themselves to see what they can do at higher levels and move up in skill, and that's great too. I think in the end, like, keeping it all in perspective and finding what you love about the sport, and just do what you love within pickleball, and then remembering too that, like, it's about enjoying the journey of it. So that was some good advice I got from Christina Chin this year. She approaches it with looking to just enjoy the friendships and the experiences and being grateful for it all, and that really resonated with me because that's something I've been thinking about and aiming for myself too. So just find what you love and enjoy the connections and the experiences you get along the way.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Alpha Pickleball Podcast with Tats. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe, rate, and connect with us on social media. Stay alpha on the pickleball court. Until our next session.